Shadow line. I have them right here. All of these are from their Elven line except this one, which is called Wizardry, but I thought it still kind of fit in with the theme. I'm going to swatch these for you guys, and then I'm going to lead you through this makeup look right here, so that maybe if you are interested in using the elf shadows for an elven look, you can do that. Alright guys, I hope you have fun. On my Instagram, if you follow me, you saw that I did an elf look using a few products, but from this collection I used Elven Blue, Elven Midnight, and Elven Silver. So I thought I would do a look for you guys. Loud airplanes, why? I would do a look for you guys using the other three colors in this palette. I have Wizardry, and then Elven Green and Elven Gold. So those are the last two Elven colors plus Wizardry, which I picked up just because I thought it would go well with Elven Green. So my concept is that I don't want my face to be white. I just want to look like I have a very pale complexion. So instead of using like a white cream paint, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take my foundation. This is L'Oreal True Match 1-2. So it's neutral soft ivory. I don't know why they always have so many names. Mixing it with Manic Panic Dream Tone, so a color correcting foundation essentially. So we're going to mix these two together because color theory tells us that adding white to any color is just going to lighten that color. So what I do is I just pump this right onto the back of my hand. And I literally just use my hand to mix because I don't know. I don't know if it's just that I like to be very hands-on or maybe I'm just lazy. So I'm actually going to do, I don't know if you can see that, but pretty equal parts. It's about a pump and a half of each. I actually do use this on a regular basis. I use the Dream Tone on a regular basis just to lighten my foundation, but I usually use like less than half a pump. So this time I'm really like going for it because I want quite a light complexion, and then I just dollop that all over my face. And I remember from my look that I did on Instagram that I am going to definitely need to do some building. I'm going to need at least another layer of this foundation. So then I use my Wet n Wild foundation brush, and then I'm just going to buff that all over. This is definitely not going to actually match my skin tone, and that's why I'm gonna bring it down onto my neck. And you know, this is more of not costume makeup, but kind of, you know, this is artistry. That's kind of how I imagine this. And since I'm using those green colors, I kind of imagine that this is gonna be like a woodland elf type look. Bringing that down pretty far on my neck since I am kind of changing the color of my skin with this. Use the Kat Von D Whiteout Concealer and the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. These are like the most popular concealers because I want to set my face with powder. Because if I want to blend out any shadows on my face, I've got to have I've got to have some powder on there or else the blending is not going to go well. Really lightly dip into the Reserve Your Cabana powder from Wet n Wild. Okay, don't go too crazy, Natalie. Okay. First elf look, I did go a little more pale than this even, but for the Woodland elf, I didn't want to be as pale as, I didn't want to be like white, I just wanted to be pale. I have the Coastal Scents shadow here. I'm going to start with Elven Green. Put that right on my, this is an elf, technically this is a concealer brush, but I really like just the fluffiness it has, a tiny little fluffy brush. And I'm just going to start putting that all over the very outer edges of my forehead. And I'm going to use circular motions to do this. I want her to be a colorful elf. Okay, so I am starting just with that outer layer, and then we're going to blend that down in just a second. I'm going to go over that entire line that I just made and do a second layer of shadow. Just to really brighten it, give it that extra layering. Okay, now I'm just, without adding any more shadow, I'm just going to use circular motions and blend around the edge right where that shadow meets bare skin. Like I said, using circular motions. And I'm going to bring that down into the hollow of my cheek. Just continuing to use circular motions. I haven't added anything else, I'm just blending what's already there. So now I'm going to go in with Wizardry. It's the darker green up here. I'm going to get that onto my brush, and then I'm going to go over the very outer part of my face again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of that off of the brush, and now I'm just going to do exactly what I did before, going a little bit further down and using circular motions to blend. I'm not adding anything else to the brush right now, I'm just blending. And I'm going to bring that down onto the hollow of my cheek, and I'm going to add just a little bit more Elven Gold using my fingertip, just to the center of my lid for a halo effect. First, I'm going to be using Fairy Wings by Starburst Minerals, and this just has a slight green hue to it, which I think is perfect. Way too much powder, I just shake it off like right into the lid so I can save. Alright, so actually what I want to do is use this just to kind of dust over some of the areas we already did, to brighten them up a little bit. I'm going to put some on my fingers. Did not mean to flip you off. And the tip of my nose. I go in with Elven Green with that Elf Fluffy brush, and I'm going to go right underneath my jawline. So not on my jawline, I'm going underneath my jawline. And I'm just going to do, just like I did my forehead area, I'm just going to do a nice layer of that. Careful not to give yourself a chin strap, so don't go too high. Make sure that you are underneath your chin. And just do a layer, like I said, just like you did before. Another layer. Using Elven Green again, and then we're going to go in with Wizardry. And then blend down without adding anything extra, circular motions. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Wizardry, which is darker and a bit more shimmery. First, I'm just going to create that line of shadow, and then we'll blend it down. Just for fun, because I added that Elven Gold on the very center of my lid, I decided that I was going to go in with Elven Gold and mix it with a Devinah Cosmetics color called Pyramid, which is like a yellow highlight almost. I'm going to put both of those in the center, or not in the center, in the corner of my eye. Okay, and next I'm only going to use Pyramid, and I'm going to put that up on my brow bone. We still haven't done our brows. Some Pyramid onto this, what is this brush? This is technically an e.l.f. blush brush, and I'm going to go just to tie in some gold, a little bit extra gold. So now I'm going to take a little bit of Fairy Wing and put that on my neck just to illuminate it a bit. Now we get to go back to the eyes. I'm going to grab this, not this one, that's the wrong brush. I'm going to grab this really flat brush that actually just came with a random palette that I own. Just anything that's really thin and flat to make a line with will work, or a really fine tip thin brush would work too. And I'm going to use the CC Beauty palette and pick up this gold. It's like paint. I love this stuff because it is like paint for your face. I'm going to pick up this gold and I'm going to create some lines. So I will be right back. So I went ahead and grabbed a little bit of Wizardry Only, which is the darker green, and just smoked that out a little bit on my lower lash line. And now I'm actually going to add the black wing. Okay, so I added the black wing and we have the gold just kind of sitting right on top of it. What I'm going to do next, and I'm going to go in with Wizardry, and I'm just going to create my brow using Wizardry. To curl our eyelashes, mascara. What I like to do is I like to let my eyelashes dry a little bit, then I'm going to go back and curl them again, and then I'm going to add some false lashes. Okay, so I did my hair while I was waiting for my eyelashes to dry. I have my, it's got a hair on it. I have my lashes here, and I'm going to apply some lash glue to the lash band. Stick that on. I like to let it get tacky for a second before I stick it on my eye. Okay, first pair of lashes on. Okay, so our lashes are on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my e.l.f. ears, and I am actually borrowing these from somebody, but I will link a couple of places down below that sell similar things, and I'm going to apply these with some spirit gum glue stuff. So before I put these on, I want them to match my skin tone a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my sponge again, and I'm going to use the exact same two products that I used on my face earlier, and I'm actually going to apply these right to the sponge. So I'm doing a pump of my foundation and a pump of my Manic Panic Dream Tone, and I'm just going to pat that directly onto the ears to lighten the tone. And I do need to do a couple of layers of this just because these are made of a weird material that just like soaks up the product. I don't know what it is. I want to shade just the inner corner of the ear to add some depth, but also to tie it in with all of the green that's on my face. So I'm taking just a nice little fluffy brush and using Wizardry, a little bit of Wizardry and a little bit of Elven Green. I'm just shading underneath that little area right there. Now that I have these all to my liking, I'm going to let them dry for a second. And I am going to be applying the ears off camera because I don't feel comfortable teaching you how to apply your ears because it's always a dang mess when I do it. So once I've done this a few more times and I get better at it, I'll attempt to teach you. Off camera, the last thing that I need to do is I need to do my lips. Okay, so lastly, I just put some Shape Tape on my lips just to cover them and really make them muted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Elven green right onto my finger and just pat that on the inside of my lip. It is kind of drying to put shadow on your lips, so beware. And finally, I'm going to take some Elven Gold and pat that on the outside of my lips. Alright guys, and that is the finished elf. Thank you for creating with me, and have a great day. Bye.